All right, good evening, everybody. And again, thank you for those of you who have joined us thus far for our From Passion to Profession webinar with the College of Education, Health and Human Development this evening. My name is Anders Groseth, and I have the privilege of working as Montana State University's Associate Director for Recruitment Services in the Office of Admissions. And I am not the star tonight. You're not going to hear very much from me. I'm going to be in the background because we have some wonderful presenters this evening that are going to cover some really special information about some opportunities that Montana State University and the degree programs within the College of Education, Health and Human Development can provide you as you're navigating kind of that next step of your journey or your student's journey. So before we hand it over to our presenters for the evening, I just want to take care of a couple of quick housekeeping items for those of you who are on with us. We have just a couple of things that we want to run through with everybody. First and foremost, I want to point out that throughout the evening tonight, the reason I'm going to be in the background is because I want to spend some time helping answer any questions that you all have. So if you go down and look at the very bottom right-hand corner of your screens, you're going to see three little dots in the very corner. And in those three little dots, you can pull up a Q&A feature, or there's also the chat feature that's available. Honestly, use either of them that you're most comfortable with. Like I said, I'm going to be here, and if you have any questions regarding some of the content that we're covering or anything else having to do with the opportunities at Montana State, please write them in, and I'll be more than happy to help out in answering those. And then also, if you need to call in to tonight's presentation, you can see both the toll and the toll-free number posted on your screen right there with the access code of 28640364253. And so if you do need to call in this evening, we're going to be here, and that will allow you to access the audio components of this information. And then most importantly, possibly, is that we're going to be handling our recording this evening on our YouTube page. And so we record all of our different webinars. So if you want to look back and look at anything from student wellness efforts at Montana State to paying for school or first generation student services that we have, they're all posted on our YouTube page, which can be accessed through our webinars site, which you'll see posted on that screen right there. So that's enough from me. That's my kind of housekeeping items that I wanted to run through, and I appreciate you giving me some time to do so. But now I'm going to hand it over to three incredible presenters from our College of Education, Health and Human Development to talk about their services, their resources, degree programs, and everything that they have to offer you as students and as parents of students at Montana State University. So I appreciate your time, and with that, I'll hand it over. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Kate Kaminsky, and I am the Senior Assistant Dean in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And that means a lot of different things, but I handle a lot of our recruitment, a lot of our retention efforts, study abroad, and kind of all things that have to do with student success. So we're so glad that you're here, and we're looking forward to interacting with you.
And good evening. My name is Tricia Seifert, and I have the honor to be the Dean of the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And welcome. We look forward to question and answer. So be sure to note down your questions because we want to have a conversation with you. I'll pass it on to Dawn.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn Tarbocha, and I am a professor in kinesiology, which is one of the programs that we're going to be talking about tonight. And I am also the department head for food systems, nutrition, and kinesiology, which is one of our four departments that are included in the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. So tonight you can see from the agenda that we're going to start with just a quick health professions overview. So what does that mean? Then we're going to take some time to talk about the EHHD majors and what of those majors, which are pathways into health professions training programs. We're going to talk about some of the resources that we can offer you here at Montana State University. And then we're all very excited because we are going to be ready to take your questions, and we will do our best to answer all that any and all questions that you have. Okay. So health profession careers are often of common interest for our students. And so we wanted to take the time to share with you a little bit about what that looks like. And so I can share that there are many different pathways in which students can move into a health professions program. And so what this means is that there are lots of different undergraduate programs that will then support you into going into specific training programs in the areas that you see on your screen. And I can say that for the most part, I've been here for quite a while, and we've had students come through EHHD and end up in careers in nearly all of these that you see on your screen. And so we just wanted to take some time to talk about that. So you can see physician's assistants. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later on. We have a nursing program here at MSU. Some students go through and become pharmacists. Physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are very popular within the kinesiology program, as well as occupational therapists, dentists, and then there's some technologist things on there. And one of the things that I wanted to point out that sometimes doesn't always get grouped into health professions is our mental health. And so we here at MSU and in the College of Education, Health and Human Development, we have 3 graduate programs in counseling, mental health counseling, marriage, couples and families, and school counseling. And then we also have 2 certificate programs that are available to students, addictions counseling, and then our mental health support certificate. And so we can share more about those if you're interested during the question and answer. We are also going to be doing another webinar in March that will talk about some of these helping professions as well. But I really wanted to address that because it fits both areas. And so for tonight, what I really would like to focus on is the fact that for those of you that are interested in health professions, there are many different pathways here at Montana State University that you can use to get to that end goal of going to medical school or to dental school or to become a physical therapist or an occupational therapist. And what's really important is that you find the right fit for you. You find that right pathway that makes you passionate and excited as you work through the different types of undergraduate programs. So with that, we're now going to take some time to talk about some of the more popular pathways that are available to you in the College of Education, Health and Human Development. So the very first one that we're going to talk about is our Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology. In our kinesiology program, we have 2 different options. The first is our exercise science option, and this is the most common pathway for students who are interested in health professions. Our other option is health and fitness, and those are that pathway has a bit more of a business focus for those who want to become owners of gyms, personal trainers, that type of work. So we're going to focus tonight on the exercise science option. And so basically what kinesiology is it's the study of human movement and exercise. And so this program really focuses on that perspective. But and we're going to talk about a little bit of the coursework. So the curriculum for this program in exercise science is developed to meet some of the standard coursework that is needed to apply to these health professional pathways post-degree. Okay, so that includes chemistry, so 2 semesters of chemistry, a semester of physics, 2 semesters of anatomy and physiology, and 1 semester of statistics. And so you'll see throughout this presentation that those are the common built-in coursework that's involved in needing to get into that next level after you graduate. In the kinesiology program, what we focus on is the exercise side. So you'll take coursework in exercise physiology, kinesiology, biomechanics. I'm doing this from memory, and motor control and learning. So basically what this looks at is you're studying human movement from everything from how do muscles make our skeleton work? How do we walk? How do we run? How do we shoot a basketball? Any of those things that we can think about, how does movement work? But then it's more complicated than that. We look at In biomechanics, it's all about force and force production. So how does our force within our skeletal system create movement and motion? How does that relate to potential injury and injury prevention and injury rehabilitation? And then the motor control side really looks at how our neurological system impacts the human movement. So how does our brain tell our body to move, and how do we understand that? So again, we have those coursework, those basic classes in chemistry, anatomy and physiology and all of that are typically required, particularly for med school, PT, dental school, all of those. And then we have this focus area on exercise. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is on our list of health professions, one of the things that our program can provide you for is if you decide that you're really interested in biomechanics and that movement and force production and that sort of thing, one of the areas that students can get further training in is prosthetics. So this is an area of medicine that you design, fabricate, and utilize artificial devices to restore function to individuals who have lost a limb and to increase their quality of life. So I wanted to highlight that one because that doesn't always get talked about, but our biomechanics program, you would go into a graduate program that would then prepare you to do work in that area. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in the kinesiology program, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on as well, is that we have teaching labs. So for some of those courses that I talked about, there are labs associated with that. So you will not only get the lecture material, but you also get the hands-on how do you do these things. And we just opened our brand new kinesiology and nutrition sciences research lab, which is housed with our student wellness center. So we have a lot of fun possibilities for undergraduate research, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So the next program that I would like to talk about is our Bachelor's of Science in Food and Nutrition. We also have two options in this major. So the first option is our dietetics major. So that prepares you to become a registered dietitian. So if you are interested in becoming a registered dietitian, that's included in some of in health professions. And so that's an option that you could do. And we have a program that would prepare you for that field. The other area is we actually have an option in nutrition sciences. And so this pathway also provides the basic coursework, chemistry, anatomy and physiology, physics. In this program, you actually take 2 semesters of physics. And, it has those classes that are commonly used in health professions, but this program takes a greater focus on nutrition. So understanding nutrition, how it impacts the body, those types of things. I think that this coursework, so some of the coursework that gets added in here is focused on micro and macronutrient nutrition. It also includes genetics, some of those other science classes that might be of great interest. The other thing too is that this also could potentially prepare you for a food science graduate program if that's something that you are interested in. And why we don't have a food sciences master's program here at MSU, we actually have a food product development lab where undergraduate students often who are in this option will get the hands-on experiences of working with food production, food and safety, those types of things that could move into some of those experiences that could be beneficial as you apply to health profession-based schools. The last academic focused program that we're going to talk about is community health. So community health focuses on health and well-being through the promotion of healthy lifestyles, healthy family functioning, community actions for health, and conditions that make it possible to live healthy lives. The coursework in this program has a public health focus. So students would take required classes in program planning and program evaluation. So what that means is if you think about community-based programs, one example that comes to my mind is a food bank. So we would, individuals working in community health might be involved in that. They might be involved in health clinics, state health departments, local health departments. This is some of the work that they do. And so when you see programs that are put into place to enhance health, community health workers, this is what they do. They plan these programs and then they implement these programs into the community, and then they evaluate these programs to see how effective they are. So that whole sequence is provided to you as a student in the community health program. So you learn how to do all of these different things that directly impact the health of the community. You would also take classes in health disparities, health behavior theories. So this looks at why do people behave the way they behave with regard to certain health practices. So I will take 1 second because this is a class that I teach. So a little shout out to this one. But so we look at things such as, like, for example, the research shows that being physically active is really important to health. And yet we know through the statistics that you would potentially do as a community health worker that people don't exercise to the level that they should. And so this health behavior theories class really looks at what impacts decisions that people make around their health. And it looks at it from a wide view, right? So we know that it's more than just motivation, right? That's individual, but rather all of these other indicators and factors that impact, how we behave. Looking at healthcare, managing healthcare organizations, a lot of community health work is also involved in nonprofit organizations. So this class takes a look at healthcare organizations with a focus on nonprofit organizations and how they work to improve the health of communities. And then lastly, students would take coursework in epidemiology. Epidemiology is a track in public health where you essentially track disease. So it provides the opportunity to look at why certain areas have disease, how disease travels through communities, and then allows you as a community health worker in public health to think about how we can minimize some of those things. Okay, so that's a really quick overview of 3 of our programs here in the College of Education, Health and Human Development that focus on health professions. And I talk very quickly, so hopefully you were able to gather all of that information. I also wanted to take a minute here just to state that when we're talking about health professions, they typically require, or almost always require, continuing education training post your four-year degree. So what we're talking about here, what we can offer you in our college, is that 4-year degree that will help you get those prerequisites that you need to be able to be a competitive applicant for these different types of health profession training programs post-degree. The other thing that I really think that's really important to note is that, and we'll talk about some of the resources that you will have here at MSU in just a second. But what's important is that for students to understand what the prerequisites are so that you can plan your curriculum pathway that fits your needs. So in most of our majors, if you go to our website and check out our curriculum sheets and that sort of thing, you'll see that they have elective classes. And so elective classes are those classes that are open to you that allow you to shape which direction you want to go. Okay, so you'll take these exercise science classes, or you'll take nutrition classes or community health classes. But in addition to that, you'll have electives. And it's those electives that will allow you to shape which way you want to build your degree program, and then into applying for a health professions degree. So I think that one of the things that I tell students is to use those electives, think about those, think about which pathways that you want to go for, and then also check your schools. So different schools have different requirements. We see this a lot in occupational therapy. There are some similarities, but in some of the programs, they might have like, one or another different requirement. So we encourage you to think about what that might entail. Excuse me. One of the things too, another example is biochemistry. So while biochemistry isn't required in any of the 3 degree paths that I shared with you, in some of the health professions that would be a requirement. So you would want to add biochemistry into your class load, so that you would then have that prereq done when you're ready to apply to your health professions school. Okay, so I want to now take a little bit of time to talk about some of the things that you can do here within the College of Education, Health and Human Development to enhance your opportunity to build that pathway into that health profession. So I wanted to take the time to talk about, we have a minor program and 2 certificate programs that I really wanted to share with you. So these can be built into your major. And the first one is our human development minor. And this looks at lifespan. So how do humans develop throughout the lifespan from birth to death? And it looks at different types of theories and practices. So this would be a minor that you could add in that would give you that background if you were really interested in understanding how humans develop, and incorporating that into whatever health profession that you're interested in pursuing. The second is we have a gerontology certificate. This gerontology is the study of aging, and basically this is a certificate program that provides additional coursework that specifically focuses on older adults. So we have an adult development and aging class in the certificate program, as well as a variety of other different options that you can choose. And it's a 15 credit add-on to your degree program. And so you can specialize. So if you're interested, say, for example, in working with older adults in the future, this would provide that additional training around some of the nuances that occur when you work with older adults. And then our Leadership Fellow Certificate, this provides you the opportunity to learn about those leadership skills that could be really important as you build that pathway to where you want to end up. And so leadership skills are so important around, developing those skills that will be beneficial to you both in your undergraduate, in your health professions pathway, and for life, really. So those are 3 additional components that we have within the College of Education, Health and Human Development, as well as all of the mental health pieces that I had mentioned earlier. The next thing that I want to talk about is here at Montana State University, we have student clubs, right? And it allows students the opportunity to get involved. And so we have some clubs that are associated with our academic programs. So the first one that I want to talk about is the Exercise Science Club. So this is for students that are in the major or are just interested in learning more about exercise. All of our clubs are student-led. So this year we have 2 co-presidents, and then there's faculty advisors that help support the student groups. So that's how the clubs work. For the Exercise Science Club, they're very much focused on bringing in experts to provide seminars to promote the different health profession pathways that you can get from getting a degree in exercise science. So a couple of weeks ago, they had a physician's assistant come in and speak to the group. Before winter break, they had a physical therapist come in In addition to that, this is a community community service focused group. So they do community service to just get further experience. So they've done a lot of community service work. In the fall, they do a 3K trot to raise funds. They usually attend the American College of Sports Medicine conference, their local meeting. It was actually just in January. I believe, yeah, in January, and it was in Big Sky, Montana. So they were able, through the funds that they raised, to be able to go and get additional training on sports medicine specifically. So if that was something that you were interested in, that would be an option that you would get as a club member. They also help with our Pounce 5K. And so that's coming up in April, and we're super excited about that. And so they usually volunteer to make sure people don't get lost on the 5K path and to cheer us on. So that's the Exercise Science Club. We also have the Montana Student Dietetics Association. So this one is more focused on dietetics, but it's still an option even in the nutrition sciences pathway if you're interested in getting involved. And it just helps talk about the different aspects and nuances of dietetics. It talks about hot topics in nutrition. So we know that there's always new things going on. And so they'll address like what's new in the field. They'll talk about some of the things that maybe you see online, right? And what the impacts of nutrition are. So again, this is a student-run group. They have a faculty advisor, but all of it is ran by undergraduate students. And then finally, I wanted to talk about Phi Epsilon Omicron. This is an honor society, and the background of this honor society is through Family Consumer Sciences, or now Family Science and Human Development. But this honor society is actually open to anybody who has interest in working with families, human development, anything like that. So we've had members in this honor society from all different programs across EHHD. And they really look at how their main goals is looking at lifelong learning, leadership building. So we have some more of that leadership piece, and then scholastic excellence. So those are just three clubs that are associated with the academic programs that I've outlined, but there are tons of clubs here at MSU. And so I really encourage you, pretty much if it's something that you think you might be interested in, there's most likely a club that is associated with it. And if not, you can create your own club. Okay, so some things to keep in mind. And I think it's really great to be able to see the students come together, collaborate, you get to meet each other. Then, particularly for the ones that I've outlined, you see each other in classes, and you maybe talk about the club meeting or those types of things. And so it's just a great way for students to come together around a common interest. Resources. Okay. One of the things that we provide at the College of Education, Health and Human Development is our advising office. And so our advising office is there to help students with the curriculum, determining what your major is, your pathway through the curriculum. They help you outline your schedules, to create a plan of study. They help you to clarify what the curriculum requirements are. They talk to you about graduation requirements when you get closer to finishing your degree, and then they talk about university policies and procedures. And so here are our advisors. Okay, and so these are our 4 advisors for the College of Education, Health and Human Development. And so one of the things that is really important to us in the college is that when you have an advisor, that advisor, as much as we can, will work will work with you from start of your degree to completion. And we think that this is really important because the advisors get to know you and to be able to help you, make some of the decisions that maybe you'll be making with elective classes, or, provide support, be able to refer you to other resources that are available to you. So each of our advisors advise within a specific academic program. Currently, all 4 advisors advise in the kinesiology program. We have Sarah Heller and Austin Holliday also advise community health. And then David Reese and RC Townsend, they help with education, some of our hospitality management program, and I think that's pretty much where they're at. And then my apologies, we didn't get a picture, but our food and nutrition program is actually advised by Jessie Peterson. And so Jessie is a registered dietitian, and she advises both our dietetics option as well as our nutrition sciences option. Oh, I'm missing a slide. Okay, hold on. We also have our one of the things that we provide here at Montana State University is our health professions advising. So this is an advising team that is put together specifically for students who are interested in a health professions pathway. They work in collaboration with our EHHD advisors. Our health profession advising team, they work with all majors across Montana State. And then again, like I said, they also work within our EHHD advising team. And so what Health Professions does is it provides some coursework that allows you to learn about some of the different health profession pathways. And they provide the opportunity for observing. So if you need to get some observing hours in, our health professions advising team can help with that. And then they also help with your applications once you are to the point that you're going to graduate with your 4-year degree and you're looking at applying to these different health profession schools. So they help students prepare their med school applications, their physical therapy applications, occupational therapy, pretty much anything that you saw on the slide with the exception of mental health, that they are involved in and able to help you with that application process. And they're very knowledgeable. They know deadlines, they know the processes, and they also even provide support in interviewing, all of these different things that are really important as you move from your 4-year degree into your health professions. So I wanted to make sure that we mentioned them. They're a great resource for students who are interested in these health profession pathways. So I am looking at my clock and realizing that we moved through that really quickly. So now I'm excited to go ahead. I'll flip to the last slide. And in addition to being able to answer questions specifically about the information that I shared with you, as you know, I also have 2 guests here who can talk more about the college in general, can talk about student support and resources that we have within the college for students that are our majors.
Cool. Well, for those of you, I put this in the chat feature right from the very jump this evening. But for those of you who might have missed it, I have made all of our attendees this evening panelists. So as panelists, you should be able to, if you'd like, turn on your cameras. You can unmute yourself. So if you want to engage with our presenters this evening, please feel free to do so. I know you all have some questions, and the reason that I know you all have some questions is because I have questions that I was writing down as Dawn was presenting. I might just kind of pepper her with, if that's all right. One thing that working from the admissions side of things, we always get questions about 2 different types of experiences when students are either coming into their degree program or have been in their degree program. The process of being admitted to a specific degree program that you might have discussed this evening, is there any sort of like placement procedures or second application, or is there anything along those lines that students should be aware of when they're thinking about a food and nutrition or thinking about a kinesiology opportunity?
That is a great question. And no, students, if you are interested in kinesiology, nutrition sciences, community health, you declare your major and you are a major in the program.
Nice. Love that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're fast forwarding. We've been in the degree program for a little bit. How about internship, either requirements or opportunities for various degree programs? I know that at once upon a time, I think I remember hearing that community health was the only degree program at MSU that had a built-in internship. I don't know if that's true anymore. That might be outdated. But students are always looking for internship opportunities, and I'm just wondering if there's any requirements or opportunities that you can speak to.
So yes, thank you. I had put that in my notes and then forgot to mention it. You are correct. Well, I shouldn't say you're correct. To my knowledge, as well as your knowledge, community health is a program that has an internship built into their graduation requirements. So students in the community health, they, as part of their degree pathway, complete an internship. For both of the other programs and many of our programs in the College of Education, Health and Human Development, internship is an option for students. So if that's something that they would like to add into, they can. And so we do placements in kinesiology and nutrition sciences as an elect. Kinesiology is an either or, and I believe that nutrition sciences would be an elective to be able to do that. The other piece that I really wanted to talk about that I said I was going to come back to that I didn't was undergraduate research. So in our college, many of our programs encourage undergraduate research. And what this looks like is it varies based off of the program and it varies based off of the faculty member. So some faculty do research teams where they come in. So I can talk about kinesiology for an example. We have research teams. One of our professor does ski research. So they go to Bridger Bowl and they do studies up in Bridger Bowl. So if you're a skier or a snowboarder, that could be a potential option for you. And so they, through their undergraduate research, they come up with a question, they build the research question, and then they go up to the hill and they collect the data. And then as a team, talk about it. We have independent options. So some of us may work with one student who really wants to do a research project. And so you can get class credit as part of your electives and you can do research. And so there's a lot of different opportunities. And almost every faculty member in that would be open to undergraduate research opportunities.
Very cool. For those of you joining us this evening, if you're wondering, you did hear that right. That is ski research. The mountains in Dawn's virtual background that are right over her shoulder, that's the Bridger Mountain Range. We have Bridger Bowl, roughly 16 miles from campus. So it's a pretty nice opportunity and a nice location to do some work like that. So.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't also add in that we also do some Nordic research as well. So Crosscut, the Nordic facility is up that way as well. So, you know, equal opportunity, Alpine or Nordic. If you're into skiing, we got it in the kinesiology program.
Love it. Cool. Well, again, as we're asking our questions on this side of things, please, I'm continuing to throw some links in the chat feature. So if any of you who are logging on this evening want to do the same, please feel free to do so, and we'll read those live. Okay, I had some questions as you were going through some of the different departments. There were some things that just caught my ear, and I'm going to go way back to the first that you spoke about with kinesiology. I'm really interested in, I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but that biomechanics, the prosthetics design, that's something that I think is hugely unique that I haven't heard a lot about, and I was wondering if you could kind of expand on that.
Sure, yeah. So basically our biomechanics part of our curriculum is biomechanics. And so students take take a course in biomechanics, and this class also includes research. So when you're in this class, you go to lecture, you get the information, and then you work as a team and do some research. So basically, this class sets the precedence for further work in biomechanics and motor control and learning that would allow you with a graduate degree to specialize in prosthetics. So our undergraduate program sets the stage, if you will. But then you could move into a biomechanics, sometimes mechanical engineering, depending on what the program looks like, or programs that specialize in working with prosthetics. And I know that we've had, in the last 5 years, we've had a couple of students go on and do this work.
Wow, that is awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now I'm not trying to lob you an easy one here, but I'm actually very interested in your class, the health behavior theories course. When you were talking about that, I'm just interested in like the health of an individual kind of impacting community and the ripple effects. Do you want to talk a little bit more about your class and kind of how you got interested in that field?
Sure. Yeah. So this class, as I said, focuses on different theories that are associated with human behavior. So we borrow from everything from traditional health-based information into psychology, sociology, those types of different theories. And then what we do is we look at different ways in which how people learn about information or take in information, how that informs their health behaviors. So we go, so one of the things that we talk about is if you think that something is severe or that you have a greater risk for a specific health condition, does that change your behavior versus somebody else who maybe doesn't have that same experience? We talk a lot about how health behavior is impacted by our personal experiences. So one of the things that's really interesting is that typically our students in community health or kinesiology or nutrition sciences or dietetics, they become interested in what they're doing because oftentimes there's an experience, a family member, a neighbor, somebody close to them that has had a certain health, experience. And because of that, they want to explore more. So that's what that class looks at, and it looks at greater factors. So one of the things that I talk about in my class is that exercise, for example, it's greater than just being motivated to go exercise. It involves the time that it takes, financial ability to be able to perhaps utilize some of the, a gym or whatever. That nutrition is greater than just learning about how to eat healthy, that there are other factors that include or are associated with how people eat, including just their time, right?
Wow, cool.
Right? Cooking a meal versus, whipping through a drive-through. So we talk about all of these different aspects that influence how people think about health, and then based off of that, how they behave.
Yeah. For those of you who are joining us this evening that weren't sitting in the studio room with us earlier, we were having this exact conversation about like your dietary choices and like how that impacts in your location and everything before we turned the cameras on. So
We did, yeah.
This is something that was a part of my undergraduate experience when I was at Montana State. So when you mentioned it, my ears immediately perked up. I can't talk enough with students about the Leadership Fellows Certificate, and the development of an individual once they come to college, and kind of some of those opportunities and resources that your college has to provide. I just was wondering if you could give an additional plug for your leadership program.
I'm gonna share the mic.
All
Yeah, so
right.
the Leadership Fellow Certificate is a 12 credit certificate that really allows students to explore leadership in themselves as leaders and what that's like in their community. And here on campus, that's your campus community. But so many of our students are really involved in their communities back home, and of course the community of Bozeman. And so it gives a chance. It's a laboratory. Leadership is a laboratory, and it's what you do every day and how you interact with people. And this coursework really invites you not only to think how you interact, but who you are as a person and how you bring your values to everything you do. And it is open to students across the university. So Anders, I don't remember what your undergraduate major was. What
Liberal
did you study?
studies.
In liberal studies.
Yep.
So students in liberal studies, students in engineering, students in the College of Letters and Science, students who want to be educators, all students across Montana State are invited to complete this certificate because it really makes you a leader in your community, a leader in your family, a leader in your life. So we welcome that. And I agree, Anders, it's a pretty remarkable opportunity that students can take on.
Yeah, it's one of the things that before I got involved with it, push comes to shove, I would never have considered myself a leader. But when you break it down and look at the individual aspects of what being a leader means, everybody can be. Everybody has that skill set, and this is a way to refine it, sharpen it, and build it, which I think is just something that not everybody thinks about as an opportunity when they go to college, and it certainly is one here at Montana State. Okay, I have a couple more things. I want to also give a shout out to Jesse Peterson, in addition to David and RC and Austin and Sarah, all the advisors. Jesse was a pal of mine when I was in school at Montana State, so I want to give her a shout out as well. Want to give her due flowers. So,
Jessie is amazing.
Yeah.
She is so great.
Yeah, we lived across the street from each other when we were in school, so Jesse and I were pals. We're thick. So as I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on the chat and the Q&A, and I'm not seeing anybody write in any questions, which is fine. Maybe that you're all getting this information. I do want to remind everybody that tonight's webinar has been recorded. We're going to be posting it, idiot. But we're going to be posting it to our Webinar Wednesday homepage tomorrow once we get it processed. And then we'll also be finding some different ways to provide this information, sending out in an email, posting it on a couple of different pages for you all to find, and hopefully for your future peers and classmates to find as well. So I just want to remind everybody of that. But as we begin to wrap up this evening, there's so much information in terms of degree programs and their curriculum, the clubs and organizations that you mentioned, the faculty and staff that are going to support the students. This is almost impossible to do, so I apologize for putting you on the spot like this, but if you were to be in the shoes of an attendee tonight who's learning more about everything that you all do, what are kind of some maybe 3 like primary takeaways that you feel really individualizes Montana State University's programs in education, health, and human development, and health-related fields that might not be super evident to somebody who's just browsing a website or something like that?
Yeah. Do you have one? Sure. I'll come out from behind the secret curtain. I would say that I've been at MSU now for 15 years. And the thing that just continually I come back to is how much care and concern and support we offer to students and to each other to be able to support students better. There is always a resource around every corner for you to find a place where you belong, whether it's in one of the, over 300 clubs and organizations that Dawn was talking about earlier, or within our college specifically. And we really in our college are all about human well-being, and we truly believe that in the whole person, and we work to try and take care of the whole person. And I get referrals all the time from faculty and from students who are like, hey, I just want you to check in on this person and make sure they're doing all right. And we respond to those really quickly and make sure that they get to the right resources, because there are so many people on campus that care and that want you to be successful here, and that will sit down and have an intentional conversation about how you continue on the path to success, or if maybe you get off the path, then we will help figure it out and how to get back on.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I joke that what makes us distinct and unique is that our students learn by doing. They don't just learn in a classroom, but they actually get out there on the hill and they take measurements and they work with amateur athletes and with Olympic athletes alike. Our students are in classrooms almost from day one working with young people, if they're educators. Nutritionists and dietitians and people who are studying the nutrition science are in labs and they're working in my favorite is the bod pod, where you get in this like crazy egg-like shape and it takes all of your measurements. And so they're working with people and helping them make good choices and good, healthy, well-being choices from the very beginning. And it's because our faculty members and our staff members are doing cutting-edge research. And so our students have a chance to be involved with that and not just learn about it from a dry textbook, but to really see it firsthand. And I think that makes Montana State really distinct.
Beautiful.
For me, I'm going to say the sense of community. And that comes from our yes, our VIM, right? It comes from our faculty. It comes from our support teams. It comes from everybody who works here at the university. We are a team, and exactly what my colleagues just shared. We're here to support students. We want to give you opportunities. We want to help you reach your goals and to be successful. And so it's that sense of community that comes with conversations in the hallway. I can't tell you how many times that happens, or running into each other in the sub while I'm getting maybe my second cup of caffeine for the day, or at, athletic events, or out on the ski hill, or in a restaurant downtown. It's that sense of community that, when you come to MSU, you're a Bobcat. And we love that. And in EHHD, our faculty are here to help you. We're a community, and we want to support you and provide you the resources that you need to reach your goals as a student here.
Oh, I couldn't have said that any better. That was scripted almost.
Man, I tell you, I always say this. I feel so lucky to be able to work here at Montana State University and in the College of Education, Health and Human Development. And the support that I feel as a faculty member from colleagues and the ability to work with my students is a great joy.
Yeah, I mean, there is a want to really all across campus, but from your team, for again, those of you joining us tonight, one of my colleagues had an idea about doing a couple of webinars, and we asked this team if they would be willing to help us with this. Work ended 2 hours ago. They're here with me this evening. They want to help you understand more about what their opportunities are. And you can talk about the faculty and staff that's doing that cutting edge research, but none of that matters if they don't care about that student success. And I think that really is the foundational thing that sets these degree programs, these individuals apart from, not just other campuses, but other degree programs at Montana State, is that there is a want to and there's a care that's behind all of it. I can speak to that directly. And I can also speak to Dawn getting 2 cups of caffeine because the coffee shop is across the hall from my office and I see her over there every day.
It's true.
So, well, cool. We're approaching the hour. And so if you have any last minute questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Also, my contact information, I know how to get a hold of everybody. So, I'm going to throw my contact information in there. If you have any questions, the invites that you received to log into the webinar this evening, if you want to follow up on those, if you want to shoot me an email with a question when you have time to do so, we're here to help. We hope this information this evening was beneficial for you, to maybe shine some light on some things that you hadn't considered yet. And maybe just reaffirmed what you already knew, that Montana State is an amazing, caring community with some really unique opportunities that are pushing things forward each and every day. So I want to thank my 3 colleagues, my co-hosts for this evening. Thank you so much for your time. Like we said, we're going to be posting this to our Webinar Wednesday homepage and blasting it out. But Thank you for your time, more so than anything. Thank you for all of you who joined us this evening to learn more about these degree programs and services and resources. You're what makes MSU what it'll be tomorrow, and so we can't wait to see you here. Thanks, everybody, and go Cats.